Hi, and welcome back. We're going to be going into this draft in just a second. Okay, I thought we had a little bit of reverb there, but I think we're good. Okay, all right. So we're going to be going into this draft. It's going to be Braxis Holdout. It will be a reverse draft, so these teams are going to be, drafting for each other, and then we're going to swap out. I do believe that they're going to be drafting on their side, then they will swap out.
They're drafting for the opposing team, so left will be drafting for right, right will be drafting for left, and they'll flip it up.
Yep. All right. That's now. So Braxis Holdout, a map like this, and I'm gonna also double check some of the rules really quickly because some people do it differently, but so it's regular draft screen after draft swap. So yeah, I don't think there's any specific hero bans for this, and realistically, there's so many things you can take to screw over your enemy team, like. What do you start with? Like, what's kind of the appetizer for this draft that we're about to get?
For me, Braxis Holdout relies on either a 2-3 or a 4-1. We see the 4-1 more often than the 2-3, right? So I imagine we're looking at, a strong solo laner. You don't want to give your opponents a strong solo laner. And then the next thing that comes to mind is wave clear. If you can minimize the amount of wave clear that you give your opponents, heroes like Lucio, Ana, some of the supports have absolutely horrid wave clear. You minimize that wave clear, you minimize the Zerg wave, you can win off the objective.
That's gonna be I really like that. And so you have to kind of draft it like almost like a Silver Hero League game where where I literally had on my team like 3 solo laners, and I'm like, so who solo lanes? And they were just like, how about our tank? And I'm like, that's no one on it. What? So
we don't have a tank.
Yeah, we have an Artanis. It's like, yeah, we have a tank. It's okay, all right. But it's one of those situations like they're banning out the Abathur, which I don't blame them at all. I mean, giving that over on Braxis Holdout with so many opportunities to kind of sneak around and get to him, and it also might just be a weak hero for one of the players. And we're gonna see a Murky ban as well.
This is something just to minimize the absolute mayhem that will occur on your team. You don't want this to be picked up for your team, and it's a nightmare to play, especially if you don't have anybody who is familiar with these two heroes. I mean, this is probably one of oh my god, this is probably one of Abathur's worst maps in my personal opinion. But Baha getting real excited about this Vikings pick.
Of course.
I actually don't mind Vikings on this map. I've seen it done before, and then the Ana Ariel being picked up. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see half of an all-support game, to be honest. We've seen this done before in the past, just in other tournaments and other side play and stuff. And, sometimes it doesn't end up as well as you had hoped. So we got to keep an eye on them. Ariel, however, does have some wave clear, but without generators, this could be pretty bad for Ariel.
I think they might just like draft like an Ana Ariel, but then they like no battery for it. So there's just nothing they can do to like actually generate any hope. But this TLV, like, I actually really think this is a great first pick. Like, you can just 3-man them in that top lane.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
like here in this thing where it's like we're drafting out of the a crazy draft. It works so far, and they're gonna take a
Right wing and Samuro. Are you trying to give your opponents the win here?
It seems like it, because like you've given them a good camper, you've given them boss control, you've given them point control, great AoE healing. Like, unless the thing is though, maybe they know on the side of Lords of the Hypeforge that some of the members of the Nexus Realm Power Heroes, did I say that one right? Yeah, Nexus Realm Power Heroes. Maybe they know that there's like a horrible Viking player, a horrible Samurai player, and so that's what they're drafting into. So to us, it's like these are all good for what we're going to be playing here in a minute.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going to be like, hey, do you suck at the Vikings? Cool, you're playing them this game. It's not going to be one of those. But I mean, I think Samuro is perfectly acceptable here. I mean, Samuro is a solo laner. Brightwing is a global and AoE healing on a sustain kind of control the point map. I mean, this draft so far, I mean, Vikings is a big meme, but I'm not hating it. I think it's a decent team. Why? Lily? Okay. All right.
I mean, they want to take the best healer in the entire game off the table.
Obviously, this is clearly the Panda Lady here is number one healer.
Well, the reason we also don't see this in like HGC is because they've all been holding it for Western Clash. And sorry to give away all of the spoilers, but Lily will be played in 100% of the games for Western Clash. But no, yeah, I would actually lose my mind if that actually happened somehow. But all jokes aside, what do you ban out? Like, what do you not want to deal with on this map? Like you personally, if you were, drafting this out.
This is exactly what this ban here, Morales, I think is a perfectly acceptable ban. You've seen them pick 2 supports already. A third support that is not a battery is an acceptable ban. I think this fits the key like perfectly. I mean, she has like no wave clear. I mean, as you said, like grenade, woo. Yeah. But I don't know, like, you're really looking to give your opponents crap wave clear and, not a good battery. Just something that's not gonna benefit the Ariel, and maybe something that's hard to hit with a skill shot from Ana. And mind you, the majority of those heroes are fairly good. Genji, Hanzo, Tracer, those are some that are quite agile. You're not going to want to give those to your opponent. So, it kind of limits it. And that's what somebody was saying earlier. We're in a spot where there's not a lot of absolutely horrid heroes. And, we joke about the Probius being not really that great, but he brings wave clear. And it's not, oh God. And it's not something.
Are we going to get a Tyrande too? Like, that's what I'm waiting for.
Well, I mean, Tyrande provides...
Ooh, but she'd be beneficial. She would actually work with this team.
As well, right? You're looking at owl stacks, stun stacks, just somebody who's going to be just going in like crazy. I don't know. I've seen this before, and I'll tell you what, nano boosted Lucio is quite scary, to be honest. Just the boops and the boops and the boops.
That is true. You do have the cooldown reduction, and that could work out. But like, they have no damage. Like, all right, Malf got a root.
Malfurion, level 1, pick up W talent, man. Just auto attack for the win, and just.
That's true. You could just build. You can build a healer a little bit more aggressive. Granted, it's your only healer that you can build aggressive at this point. Maybe a little bit on Ariel. The sleep with Ana.
Ariel, you take oh God, Probius. Ana, rather, you take detachable box magazine. What is that? Oh my God. Okay.
Hey, Lords of the Hype Forge. I don't know. That draft. It's kind of all over the place, but I don't really know. Like it's like infinite sustain versus like actual like damage and lane pressure.
Yeah. I don't know, Baha. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, so
I honestly, in this last though, I kind of hope that they put in like some sort of specialist that just might throw them off. Like it doesn't really help out at all.
Let's think. What?
Medivh could be really annoying. Portals might be beneficial.
Yeah.
Medivh's a little bit of a hard hero to play for some people. Like I'm not a very good Medivh, but like. It's not something like I can go and pick up most heroes as they come out and like learn them and kind of get to a decent spot. But like Medivh, I've just always been like, Portal, no, oh God, it's another healer.
Here we go.
But it's Uther, and I'm a little bit afraid about that.
Uther can bring a pretty big combo, and if you're on the points, let's think about this. You're gonna be seeing what? A stun from Uther, maybe another stun from Uther, a knockback from Ariel into a wall, a sleep dart from Ana. The CC is there, but the damage is not. And that's where we're thinking, do we see maybe like Battle Tank Uther come in here? Do we see, like some of these heroes just go absolutely ham bone? I'm going to give host to somebody else because I don't want to host. It
is supposed to go to our to Liquid, I do believe.
Yeah, I was gonna make Liquid host here. Yep. Got it. Make host liquid. There.
All right,
Easy
so they're
peasy,
gonna get
lemon
them.
squeezy.
Yeah, they're gonna get all the modes set up for us, and we're gonna be able to get into this in just a minute. And I gotta say, I'm really excited to see this all support comp that could be a little aggressive into this double specialist Summero Cassia. I don't
know, man.
That draft is real scary to me.
I think they put Cassia in the solo, or maybe what is it? One of these heroes that has okay wave clear, and then just hard push the absolute crap out of the other lane. I mean, Vikings, they can do quite a bit of siege damage. Baylog has splash damage. It's crazy. Eric has a pretty decent attack speed. I'm not.
There's a whole build you can go into with you can go into an entire Baylog build, and it works out pretty well. I mean, you can actually into the later half of the game, like you can pick up some talents, and like three Vikings can round the corner, and you can absolutely blow someone up. So it could be terrifying. Like I know at least like in some of the games that I've played, like I can just absolutely just cheese someone with Vikings because they're just like, oh, it's just Vikings, and it's just like, oh no, it's terrifying.
It's not just Vikings, it's Vikings.
Yeah. It's like when you're going into that bottom lane, you see Murky's like pushing up super far, you're like, I got this, and then like 2 minutes later cut to like your death
dead
screen,
on
like
the
how
floor.
Yeah, like how? But it's one of those things, like sometimes they just really good Murky players will catch you, or they've got that edge.
Definitely. I'm excited to see how this goes. Oh man, I've seen this support kind of thing come in and just absolutely dominate. Now that I'm looking at the draft here, I think it's going to be Nano Boost on Malfurion with just W damage, just Moonfire, autos. Like, that's what I'm thinking. We're going to be seeing pretty much like damage is what I'm expecting here. You've got more than enough sustain, so I'd hope they look at just kind of trying to control a point. But the question comes in: who the hell is your solo laner? And I think it might end up being Malfurion or Uther. I think they have the best wave clear.
Yeah, I wonder if they just maybe do just like a 2-3, and that's just the best way to do it. And I think that's realistically, but who knows? I mean, they could play this hella aggressive and just push an entire bottom lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Uther gets what? Burning Rage essentially at level 7, I think. Holy Fire.
I believe so.
Something like that. That gives you a little bit of wave clear. Malfurion, Malfurion's roots don't deal damage to minions. That's something huge, that's a lot of wave clear that you're now missing, and so you're relying heavily on your Moonfire. Ana has 0 wave clear, absolutely nothing. I mean, you're going to be auto attacking wave for days, right? And you don't even think about attacking a building, So
I was actually playing a little bit of Lucio before while I was watching some of the earlier games, and like he too has 0 wave clear, because I was like, I'm the only one alive and we need some experience. But let's go ahead. We are just about to load in, and we're gonna get going into this first game here in just a second.
We're about to begin.
But on the left, we do have Lords of the Hype Forge. With TBK Zord on the Ariel, we have the Ana going to be played by Goki Buri. We have Dio Mendez on the Malfurion. Multi-Zord going to be playing that Uther, and Gizmo Zord will be rounding it out on the Lucio.
All right, over on the right-hand side in the red, we have Nexus Realm Power Heroes. Bottom lane, Solo Vikings, played by Majesty. Top lane, we're going to be seeing Ro on that Brightwing. P-Flame G there on the Summero, Zexorus on that Probius, and rounding it all up, we have Solid Jake playing Cassia. But something to say is that we have the Vikings go to the bottom lane. So we're going to see 3 Vikings versus 4 heroes. Ariel to be the solo laner here. Interesting, I think, is... we'll see. I am interested to see how this goes. realistically. I think Ariel's going to get absolutely bullied here, and as you can see, Lucio and Ana making their way up. It looks like Uther might be making their way up there as well. I think Malfurion is going to have an absolute perfect time here. No problems whatsoever, to be totally honest. So that's nothing really to worry about. What did we pick up for Malfurion? We ended up picking up Shando's Clarity, which I can't agree with, to be totally honest. You reduce the recharge of your Innervate cooldown. You've got one person who doesn't use mana on your team, and you have people who I don't really think are too reliant on mana, like Lucio. All of your heals are there. You're not gonna have to keep it in heal speed all the way, but I don't know. I guess for Uther, I think you missed a lot of damage on a team that is clearly lacking damage on with that W talent. But top lane, Samuro taking a beating by the supports here as Cassia looks to dive in. Top plate being held by what is that, Nexus Realm Power Heroes, and they're looking to kind of just duke it out here. Probius, a lot of zoning there with those warp rifts and a bit of damage, but it's nothing that Lords of the Hype Forge cannot heal up. You can see Lucio just speed boosting it away, and they're looking to pick up Cassia here right away. Even that trait will not protect you from those Lucio auto attacks. You end up falling as Ana looks to try and poke out the Brightwing. Gonna force the row back. Hearth, teleport back in. The other team gave you a global, you might as well use it.
That's actually a huge point for them because they're able to go back and get that full Brightwing right away. She'll be able to come right into the team, as we also have Solid Jake coming back at this time as well. Now, in bottom lane, we do have a Viking falling down here as they do want to dominate this lane a little bit more. But in top, once again, it looks like the members of Lords of the Hype Forge are going to be holding this over, but they are going to dive in a little bit with their Samaro. Knockback from the Lucio will be right there, and once again, the top will be held by members of the Nexus Realm Power Heroes.
Yeah, I think the supports are going to have a little bit of a tough time trying to make their way in here. We saw the ganking Uther of all the heroes, ganking Uther, but Ro actually going to fall here. TPK Zord getting very low. Samuro looking to pick up that kill, does indeed find that elimination there, as Ana now trying to get away from the Cassia that's chasing. But look at this Ana's damage. You can see the damage over time. Did we pick up the detachable box magazines? We did. This is what I was looking for here. You are capable of outputting so much damage, as now Lucio goes over, picks up Solid Jake there, and might even get lucky and pick up the Samuro here, but Samuro gonna play it safe, back off, just Hearth. I think this is just a safe overall play, as both shrines are now going over to the Lords of the Hype Forge.
They'll be able to grab this. The charge should be in their favor. Overall, I don't think the members of the Nexus Realm Power Heroes will be able to hold this over. But we're going to see, as they do have their Samuro coming back in. Cassia is ready and available. Malfurion still holding that bottom position very well, though. And it looks like we do have a little bit of a dive in from a couple of the members. Blinds out from the Cassia. Samuro using those clones to go ahead and get a little bit deeper. And we have Cassia diving in as well. And they're going to start having to back off as we have the Samuro getting so low. But I think he'll be... Nope, Uther will get that. Just that snipe at the last second.
Nice. Nice pickup there by Multizord. Going to be able to pick up that Samuro. That's a lot of pressure gone from that top lane, which will guarantee the cap here on the top shrine. But Vikings putting in some work in that bottom lane, denying the first objective. 2% to go. We're looking at almost 100 to 50 here. But Brightwing falls to Lucio. Assassin Lucio, guys, is carrying this team to victory right now. What are we looking at for kills here on Lucio already?
Zexer is going to be getting killed by, I think, Gizmozord again. So Lucio once again picking up another kill. And that is also going to be the Zerg wave completed for the members of the Lords of the Hype Forge. And at this time, with the kills that they've been getting, if we get to the later half of the game and they're still getting these kills, these death timers are really going to be the bane of existence for the members of the Nexus Realm Power Heroes.
Yeah, and if you pick up heroes like Probius or the Vikings, that's a lot of wave clear gone. So, if you get a big Zerg wave, push that in, you don't really have to worry about it. So maybe this draft kind of working out in the favor of Lords of the Hype Forge right now. Both teams are relatively on equal talents. Only level 7 being reached now by Nexus Realm Power Heroes. So they're gonna have to kind of play it a little bit safer. We're down 5 kills already. Make that Lucio, so 4 kills now as Lucio falls there. And these Zerg waves, I can't imagine they're gonna get too much. Maybe grab a fort, and you're gonna have to look back into getting into these lanes to soak. But Solid Jake being chased out by Multizord. They're chasing under that fort, and as you see, Malfurion tanking it, ends up falling. Solid Jake turning back onto the Uther. Double kill in the bottom lane.
I go ahead and get those, and that's actually, I ran up to top really quickly because I saw that the Summer was getting a little low, but he's starting to push back a couple of these members as they do need to get this clear, and the Vikings helping out with that quite a bit. Actually, excuse me, just one of the Vikings. And honestly, the way that they're playing this on the side of the Nexus Realm Power Heroes, I think that into the later half of the game, the Vikings could potentially become a nuisance as well as the Summer, as we will see him break off from the team, go ahead and start picking up some of these camps. And this gives a lot of time for the rest of the team to soak up. Majesty will have really good utilization of the Vikings, and Zexorus utilizing the Probius as well to push down this bottom lane. I mean, if this game stalls out, it could be really in favor for the Nexus Realm Power Heroes.
Yeah, you can see they're already playing quite aggressive here, but Majesty's going to play it a little bit safer. End up losing Baylog there, unfortunately, but you know, it's not the worst. You could have lost both Vikings there, but you do unfortunately not get the camp. And Nexus Realm Power Hero is going to end up grabbing their Bruiser camp here with Samuro, applying a little bit of extra pressure in that bottom lane as Probius and little Olaric there going to be able to grab that bottom wall already. So that's gone. And they didn't even have their Zerg Wave in that lane. So they've got both walls already. Level 10 hit a little bit before the opposing team Lords of the Hype Forge there. Level 10s, though, I expect to see some damage ults coming out here, and if I do not see a nano-boosted Lucio or a nano-boosted Malfurion, I will be disappointed.
So it looks like we're actually going to be getting quite a few good talents that we don't see too often. I mean, Divine Storm, that is what I'm actually most excited about. We actually do have, it's pretty standard across the board, I think for every hero.
Twilight Dream is pretty standard, just even for damage. Aegis.
They're holding that Lucio. Yeah. They're holding Lucio and they're holding Ana. Okay, so it is breaking down. I was like, reverse amp? Ooh.
Oh, no, why?
Well, I can see, like, I agree with you, like, the nano boost would be good, but I think they might be able to utilize this to pick off a couple heroes as well as spread their healing across the map if they do get into situations where they need it. So I like the utilization. But I mean, I like the utilization of it. I think it could be really beneficial for the team. You can use it in both ways. So overall, I mean, nano boost, yes. Still, nano boost, that's the argument. It's nano boosted Lucio. But at the same time, I think they're going to try and take a little bit more damage and also get some healing on top of that. So it's not a horrible choice on the side of Lords of the Hype Forge. Yeah,
no boostio here today, folks, but a lot of damage in that top lane. Ana just putting in absolute numbers for hero damage.
Does she use it?
Oh, she probably could have easily picked up that Samuro kill there with Eye of Horus, and I would have retracted my statements about the pick if we did get a kill there.
I was waiting for it. I was like, cooldown's off. What are we doing? We gonna snipe some Monkey Kings, or are we gonna be? It looks like they're actually gonna go ahead and have a little bit of a brawl here in the top though, as TPKzor takes a little bit of damage, and we have Solid Jake diving in. Emerald Wind coming out from as well. There is the Valkyrie to pull a couple members in. Vikings are gonna utilize the play it again, and they're going to be fighting here with their entire team. But at this point, we actually have Lucio falling, and I think they're going to need to back off on the side of Lords of the Hype Forge.
Cassia, Solid Jake doing absolute wonders in that team fight there. Just dashing in with a fend, just does amazing work there. Just, you could see the health bars drop, getting a ton of value. And Ana, there we go, the Eye of Horus across the map, picking off that Probius in the bottom lane. There we go. This is why we picked the ult.
That is big for them, but at the same time, Malfurion needs to stop this in bottom lane as they are at 72% of their charge, and they don't have any on the side of Lords of the Hype Hordes, and they're going to dive in a little bit further. Solid Jake going to get some damage out. Knockback from Ariel is going to be keeping them safe here as the clones will go ahead and just do some little bit of damage and distract the team here.
Yeah, we're going to see pretty much a big duel for the bottom lane. I expect to see a little bit of a rotation here. Eric dying in the bottom lane, so Cassia gonna have to duel out Uther here. Gonna deal with a little bit of stuns. It'll be a close fight. Ooh, top lane though.
Summerall getting so close there to death, but he goes ahead and utilizes the swaps with one of his clones and just be out of there just fine. Now, Multis are going to take a little bit of damage here as they're just pressuring him back, and he'll have to play the safe, as it looks like these are going to be held by each team. Red on bottom, blue on top.
Yeah, they just swap it out. And now Samuro trying to get away. Ariel boops him away a little bit, but he goes in for a big Blade Storm. But you can see that damage of Ana, and then Ariel in with the clap there, gonna be able to finish off the Samuro. As Ana, great root there from Malfurion, and another clap, the double kill there for Ariel. Assassin support is real in this game here.
Definitely, and actually in this bottom lane we have a little bit of a fight starting to break out between these with this Viking and Probius, and Multizord taking quite a bit of damage. They're going to dive in a little bit further. He does get some self-healing. There will be the speed from Lucio, but actually the tower getting the kill onto the Olaf, and Zexeris at this point is going to get knocked back and actually going to be getting out just fine.
Wow, Uther barely getting away there. Very lucky, but now Gizmazord is going to pay for it with his own life. Ana not able to get the heal off across the map just in time, as the Vikings reign victorious there in that bottom lane against Lucio. But we're still looking at even split here for the capture points now, as the top lane rather getting captured over here by Nexus Realm Power Heroes. Great grab there by the Cassia with that Valkyrie and a good Aegis to try and prevent the kill. Big Emerald Wind pushing the Malfurion into the wall. Great pick there, and that will secure the platforms for the side of Nexus Realm Power Heroes as a spray goes out. A little bit of BM here. 100 wave, though, for the side of Nexus Realm Power Heroes.
Yeah, pushing into the hero, Lords of the Hype Forge in this bottom lane this is a nice big wave, and they don't really have a lot of members down here for the clear. With all the Vikings and the Probius, they are starting to steamroll this, and the other factor, too, is they have that Bruiser camp pushing as well, so they're going to have just a little bit extra. Brightwing going to be using the port all the way down, and also having that Peekaboo giving some extra shielding for the friendly team. And at this point, they're going to go further, and they potentially, if they get a couple picks, they can make this a core push.
I honestly think if Cassie goes in with a huge fend, a little bit of extra poke damage, Samuro comes in from behind. He is top lane, but Valkyrie even, you can see just Lucio getting absolutely melted. Same with Malfurion being forced to back off. There's a ton of heals with 5 healers, but you do not have the wave clear that you're looking for, and down goes Malfurion. You're going to be looking to take this keep down. One more pick could be it, but out comes the Emerald Wind after that Divine Storm. Aegis out onto the Uther. The Blade Storm in the background. Not going to be able to pick up the Uther, as he is going to be able to walk away. The stun onto Samuro quite low. And it looks like they're going to be pushing into the core. Samuro is very low. Going to rely on the heals of Brightwing, which aren't very strong. But the Zerg wave going to be wailing away into this core. They're going to break through the shields. Looking at 20%. But in comes Ariel with that kill. Uther goes down. Malfurion rejoining the fight. 55%, and it's just forcing them out. Is this a failed core attempt, or are they going to be able to get it? The Vikings not successful in doing it. Zexeris and Ro trying to escape, but little old Eric taking it down to 23%. What a duel there for the core, and unfortunately, not a big enough Zerg wave going to be able to help finish that off, as now Probius, oh my god, what a nuke onto that Lucio, but Lucio will get the upper hand there, picking off that Probius. 4 members lost. I think Ro ended up getting away there on Brightwing, and what a great defense here by Lords of the Hype Forge.
That was a huge push for them, and the counter that they got was absolutely insane. The thing that I want to point out, though, is Zex, you were sitting there B-stepping instead of auto-attacking the core. That could have potentially been
call-outs.
I gotta say, I mean, if you're gonna B-step and you don't end, I gotta point you out a little bit there. But at this time, we are gonna have the teams rotating around. They will be going ahead and picking up these camps, creating some lane pressure. Realistically, this is really their only way back on the side of Lords of the Hype Forge. The Nexus Realm Power Heroes, they've got a lot of good pressure currently. The bottom lane is going to be something they need to deal with consistently. We do have the Summer, who's going to get revealed. Going to be able to get out of here just fine, though.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have seen Nexus Realm Power Heroes go and invade that camp. You guys are on even powered, talent tiers here, but I think you know, you have the better team fight damage. You've seen your team fights in the past. You only lost that one because you're fighting under the core. I think you guys have far superior damage, but oh my geez, that combo coming out. And it only looks to be the Samuro clones that get deleted as Cassia just poking down the front line, back line heroes, I guess, you know, and just a ton of damage. You see those Thunderstrokes coming out. I believe that's the name of the talent, at least, and just the massive amount of damage from Cassia just poking down that that opposing team.
The other big thing to note here is that while all this fighting is happening in top lane, Summer are going to go ahead and use the Blade Storm. There is the whip from the Ariel, but he's currently unstoppable, gets the transfer out, and he is just has a little bit of health. We're looking at just, it was under 100.
50.
I think when I clicked on it, it was like 30 or something. Yeah. But that is insane.
Nuts.
The thing is, though... Yep, that just happened. I was going to say, during all of this, I was going to point out that the Vikings have been pushing up bottom, creating a nice amount of pressure that they're going to need to respond to. They can rotate the Vikings back, pick up this beacon, and start the charge in their favor as they are holding top and bottom. Ariel and Lucy are going to be coming down here trying to get this, though.
Oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Playing it a little bit too aggressive there, as Samuro, Flame G, ends up walking into the backing. Ariel gets clapped there, loses that, and this will allow Lords of the Hypeforge, you know, move in and hopefully grab a shrine here. I'm surprised Roe hasn't. So Roe is on the right-hand side. Obviously, he's already capped it. But Malfurion looking to back as the core is now being bombarded by 2 catapults here. So that's something that you do need to keep an eye on. But the Divine Storm and a potential great kill here onto Cassia, but an even better denial there with the Emerald Wind as Uther goes to stun that Cassia, and great Aegis coming out as well. Cassia looking to go back in for a little bit more poke damage, maybe get a little bit of healing here from that Brightwing as well. And she is getting quite low. We'll be able to get away into that backline, but catapults have fallen. No core damage being taken place so far.
Play it again, going to be used by the Vikings here as they are trying to dive onto TBK Zord, and there is a silence out from the Malfurion as well. Slap will kill some of these clones, but it looks like that's just all it's going to be getting, as we also have the charge currently going over in favor for the Nexus Realm Power Heroes. Samurai are going to be using that Blade Storm, trying to get one of the members here. They're going to pick off the Malfurion. Do they get the Lucio as well? Currently going to be able to boost out of there. They get the Ariel, and Lucio is going to be falling next. Looks like Goki will be the next one, and that is actually going to be Nexus Realm Power Heroes. They are going to be taking this game.
That's a 5-man wipe. Support's getting outclassed here. This is a game that you don't really expect to win as a support. I'm surprised they held on this long. The kills are so close. 16 to 15. It is just phenomenal how close this game is. And now we're looking at 16 to 16. But Nexus Realm Power Hero is going to power on through, get that 5-man wipe, pick up this core, pick up game number 1 victory.
That was an insane game 1. And not to play favoritism, because I did kind of say a little bit of favoritism, but I honestly thought that they were going to have that on the side of Lords of the Hypeforge. Like, it seemed like their game, and they had a lot of good control in the early game, but once 10 hit, the Nexus Realm Power Heroes, they just started wiping. I mean, the Valkyrie combo was doing phenomenal work for them. Blade Storm was a huge pop and just a nice burst as well. And then the clones, I just got to say, Fleming on the Samurai was just scary. Like, I don't want to play against that ever. Even like in Quick Match Hero League, any of those, like that was really good play from that member.
Yeah, Flame G just getting a ton of great swaps there. You could see his health bar dropping to like 30-ish around there. Mm-hmm. And then some questionable plays, you know, walking back into the RAL, getting clapped. Not the greatest of things to happen, but just, I think, you know, Lords of the Hypeforge kind of gave their opponents the win, honestly. It's just, the reverse draft, you know, it kind of comes and bites you in the butt a little bit after. But that's how it is here, and you kind of do the best that you can with the heroes that you're given. But I think they did a phenomenal job. We saw 16 to 16 on the kills. That's pretty good, I would say, for 5 supports.
Oh, yeah. But it looks like we are going to take a quick little break. But during that break, we're going to keep you around because in Twitch chat, if you use hashtag Beard of Bahamut, you will be entered into a raffle for a Maiev and Xenotech Abathur skin. So go ahead and start spamming your hashtag Beard of Bahamut, and we will go ahead and take a little break, and we'll be right back with game number 2. We'll be going to, I just had it and I moved it away. We're going to be going to Garden Terror, and it's monsters versus humans.